Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the ESS Horizon, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling anomaly that had brought her ship to the edge of known space. After 20 years of deep space exploration, she thought she'd seen everything the universe could throw at her. She was wrong. "Commander, you need to see this." Dr. James Rodriguez's voice crackled through the ship's comm system. The chief scientist's usually calm demeanor had an edge to it that made Sarah's spine tingle. The research lab was a chaos of holographic displays and excited chatter when she arrived. James barely looked up from his station, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. "The signal patterns we've been tracking? They're not random. Look at this." The main display showed a complex series of energy waves that pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm. Sarah had seen enough natural phenomena to know this wasn't one of them. This was structured, purposeful, intelligent. "It's a language," Lieutenant Kaya Patel, their linguistics expert, said from her workstation. Her dark hands moved through the air, manipulating the holographic representation of the signal. "But unlike anything we've ever encountered. The complexity suggests a civilization far beyond our current level of development." Sarah felt the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. After centuries of searching, humanity had finally found definitive proof of advanced intelligent life. The question was, were they ready for it? "How far are we from the source?" she asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "The signal originates from within the anomaly," James replied, adjusting his glasses. "But there's something else. The energy signature, it's identical to artifacts we've found on 17 different worlds. The ones we could never explain." The revelation hit Sarah like a physical blow. Those artifacts had been one of humanity's greatest mysteries, seemingly inert objects that defied analysis, scattered across planets like breadcrumbs. Now they knew, they hadn't been random discoveries. They were markers, leading humanity to this precise moment. "All hands to stations," Sarah commanded, her voice echoing through the ship's communication system. "Lieutenant Commander Marcus, plot an approach vector to the anomaly. Dr. Rodriguez, I want continuous monitoring of those signals. Lieutenant Patel, keep working on decoding the pattern. Whatever's waiting for us in there, I want us ready." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, but Sarah could feel the electric tension in the air. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but this was different. This wasn't finding primitive life forms or even the ruins of dead civilizations. This was active, advanced, and waiting for them. As the ESS Horizon approached the anomaly, the ship's sensors began detecting changes in the surrounding space-time fabric. The entire region seemed to blur, as if reality itself was being rewritten by whatever lay ahead. "Commander," Kaya called out, her voice tight with excitement. "I'm getting something. The pattern, it's changing. It's responding to our presence." The holographic displays flickered, then stabilized to show new configurations of energy waves. The signal had evolved, becoming more complex but also more focused. It was no longer broadcasting randomly into space, it was speaking directly to them. "They know we're here," James whispered, his eyes wide behind his glasses. "They've been waiting for us." Sarah moved to the command chair, her mind racing through protocols and possibilities. 20 years of exploration had taught her that the universe was vast and largely indifferent to humanity's existence. But now, something ancient and powerful had taken notice of them. "All hands, this is Commander Chen," she announced, her voice carrying to every corner of the ship. "What we do in the next few hours may well determine the future of our species. Remember your training, trust your instincts, and most importantly, trust each other. We're about to make history." The anomaly loomed before them, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to bend both light and darkness around it. As they drew closer, the ship's systems began detecting massive energy readings, far beyond anything their instruments were designed to measure. "Commander," Marcus called from the helm, his dark skin illuminated by the glow of his controls. "We're picking up a structure within the anomaly. It's massive. Initial readings suggest it's larger than Earth's moon. Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat. On the main viewer, something was taking shape within the swirling energies, a constructive and possible geometry in scale, its surface adorned with patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "This is it," she said, more to herself than to her crew. "This is what humanity has been searching for since we first looked up at the stars." The ESS horizon crossed the threshold of the anomaly, and in that moment, Sarah Chen knew with absolute certainty that humanity would never be the same again. Whatever waited for them within that swirling maelstrom of energy would either elevate their species to new heights or reveal just how small they truly were in the grand cosmic scale. The journey that had begun with humanity's first hesitant steps into space was about to reach its defining moment. And Sarah Chen, along with her crew, would be the ones to face it. The massive structure before them defied conventional physics. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, yet sensors indicated it was harder than any material known to humanity. The ESS horizon hung in space before it, dwarfed by its immensity. "Energy readings are off the charts," James reported, his voice hushed with awe. "The structure appears to be generating its own gravitational field, but it's selective. It's only affecting certain objects, including our ship." Commander Chen watched as tendrils of light began to emerge from the structure's surface, weaving through space like auroral ribbons. "Lieutenant Patel, any progress on the signals?" "Yes, Commander," Kaya's fingers flew across her console. "The patterns are becoming more organized. They're not just responding to our presence anymore, they're trying to establish a baseline for communication. It's like they're teaching us their language in real time." Suddenly, the ship's artificial gravity fluctuated. The crew grabbed onto their stations as reality seemed to bend around them. The structure's surface had opened, revealing what appeared to be a massive dock or landing bay. "It's an invitation," Sarah realized. Her heart raced, but her voice remained steady. "Marcus, what's our status?" "All systems nominal, Commander. The gravitational field is guiding us. We could resist it, but it would take significant power." Sarah stood from her command chair, her decision already made. "Take us in, steady as she goes. Security teams to all critical sections. Dr. Rodriguez, continuous sensor monitoring. If anything looks hostile, we pull back immediately." The ESS horizon glided into the massive opening, guided by forces they barely understood. The interior was a cathedral of impossible architecture, spaces that seemed to fold in on themselves, structures that appeared to exist in more than 3 dimensions. "My God," James whispered, staring at his readings. "The entire structure, it's alive. Not biologically, but, it's thinking. The energy patterns, they're similar to neural activity, but on a scale that makes a human brain look like a single neuron." Before Sarah could respond, every screen on the bridge lit up with the same pattern, a complex, flowing symbol that seemed to shift and change even as they watched it. Lieutenant Patel gasped. "Commander, it's an entire language compressed into a single symbolic representation. It's beautiful. They're not just trying to communicate with words, they're trying to share concepts, entire frameworks of thought." The symbol pulsed once, and suddenly the bridge was filled with a presence. Not physical, not visible, but undeniably there. When it spoke, it wasn't with words, but with thoughts and images that bloomed directly in their minds. "We recognize your journey, children of Earth. Your path has been watched with great interest." Sarah stepped forward, her mind reeling but her training holding. "I am Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Spaceship Horizon. We come seeking peaceful contact and exchange of knowledge. Your species is young, but your patterns are unique. Where others sought conquest, you seek understanding. Where others feared difference, you embrace it. This is why you were chosen." "Chosen?" Sarah asked. "For what?" "To face what comes. The universe is not as empty as you believe, nor as peaceful as you hope. Your species stands at a crossroads, and your next steps will determine not only your fate but the fate of many. The presence shifted, and suddenly the bridge was filled with holographic displays showing images that made the crew gasp, vast fleets of ships unlike anything they'd seen before, battles that spanned entire solar systems, and civilizations rising and falling across millennia. We are the guardians, shepherds of life's great symphony. We have watched countless species rise and fall, guide some, and stop others. Humanity has shown promise, but also great capacity for destruction. Before we proceed further, you must understand what is at stake. The images changed, showing Earth, but not as they knew it. They saw possible futures, some beautiful, others horrifying. Humanity spreading across the stars in peace, or burning worlds in endless war. You're testing us, Sarah realized, her voice firm despite the weight of the moment. Everything, the artifacts, the signals, leading us here. It's all been a test. Yes. And no. We do not merely test. We prepare. What comes next will require more than just knowledge or technology. It will require wisdom, courage, and something uniquely human, the ability to evolve beyond your own limitations. The presence seemed to focus directly on Sarah, and she felt the weight of eons behind its attention. You have questions. Ask them. But know that each answer may bring responsibilities you cannot yet comprehend. Sarah looked at her crew, James with his scientific curiosity barely contained, Kaya's eyes shining with the thrill of new linguistic challenges, Marcus steady at his station but clearly affected by what they were witnessing. They had come seeking knowledge, but found themselves on the threshold of something far greater. Drawing herself up to her full height, Commander Chen made a decision that would echo through human history. We're ready. Whatever challenges lie ahead, humanity has never backed down from the opportunity to learn and grow. Show us what we need to know. The presence seemed to pulse with something that might have been approval. Then let us begin. But remember, Commander Sarah Chen of Earth, some knowledge, once gained, cannot be unknown. And some choices, once made, will reshape the destiny of worlds. As the presence began to share its first revelations, Sarah Chen and her crew stood ready to receive knowledge that would forever change what it meant to be human. The real test was just beginning. The chamber the Guardians had led them to defied human comprehension. Its walls seemed to breathe with living light, and the floor beneath their feet shifted like liquid glass, yet remained solid. Commander Chen, along with James, Kaya, and Marcus, stood at what appeared to be the center of this impossible space. The trials begin, the Guardian presence announced. Not tests of strength or intelligence alone, but of wisdom, empathy, and the capacity to transcend your own nature. The air shimmered, and suddenly they were surrounded by what appeared to be a three-dimensional representation of a star system. Sarah recognized it immediately. It was Earth's solar system, but something was wrong. Multiple extinction-level threats detected, James reported, his scientific detachment warring with obvious concern. Astronomical data shows a cluster of rogue planets on collision course with our system. Impact inevitable within 50 years. This is the first trial, the Guardian presence explained. You have the knowledge to save your world, but not all of it. You must choose, save Earth alone, requiring minimal resources but abandoning your colonies on Mars and Europa, or attempt to save all human settlements, knowing the chance of total failure increases significantly. Sarah felt the weight of billions of lives pressing down on her. What resources do we have available? The display shifted, showing a vast array of advanced technologies, energy shields, gravity manipulation devices, and things she couldn't even begin to comprehend. But the energy requirements were staggering. We could redirect the rogue planets, James suggested, analyzing the data. But the power needed to save all settlements would leave no margin for error. One miscalculation. We save everyone, Sarah declared without hesitation. Humanity didn't come this far by abandoning our own. The scene shifted again, this time showing a different crisis. A biological threat that could wipe out most life in the galaxy was spreading. They had the means to stop it, but doing so would require sacrificing an innocent species that unknowingly harbored the threat. The second trial, the Guardians announced. The needs of the many against the right of existence of the few. Choose. Kaya stepped forward, her linguistic expertise giving her a unique perspective. Commander, the species in question, their cultural complexity, their potential for growth, they're like we were just a few thousand years ago. Sarah studied the data, her mind racing. James, if we modify the containment approach, could we isolate the threat while preserving the species? It would take generations, he replied. And we'd have to sacrifice significant technological advantages to divert the resources needed. Then that's what we do, Sarah decided. Progress at the cost of genocide isn't progress at all. The trials continued, each more challenging than the last. They faced moral dilemmas that tested not just their decision-making but their very understanding of what it meant to be human. The Guardians presented scenarios involving time manipulation, consciousness transfer, and the very nature of reality itself. Throughout it all, Sarah and her crew showed something the Guardians hadn't expected, the ability to find third options, to think beyond the binary choices presented. When faced with seemingly impossible situations, they consistently found ways to preserve life, maintain ethics, and move forward without compromising their humanity. Your responses are unexpected, the Guardian presence noted after the final trial. Other species chose efficiency. Power. Survival at any cost. You consistently choose the more difficult path. Because the easy path isn't always the right one, Sarah responded. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our intelligence, it's our capacity to hope, to dream, to believe in better possibilities even when they seem impossible. The chamber filled with a new energy, and the crew felt a shift in the Guardian's presence. Perhaps this is why you were chosen. Not for what you are, but for what you might become. The walls of the chamber became transparent, revealing something that made them all catch their breath. Beyond the structure lay not empty space, but a vast network of light and energy, a web of connections spanning the galaxy. What you see is the network, the true civilization of advanced species who have passed their trials. But never has a species responded as you have. You do not seek to dominate the network, but to understand it. You do not demand power, but accept responsibility. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what they were witnessing. What happens now? Now, the Guardian presence seemed to grow both warmer and more serious. You face your greatest trial. Not in this chamber, not in hypothetical scenarios, but in reality. You must return to Earth with what you have learned and guide your species through its next evolution. But be warned, knowledge of the network will attract attention. Not all advanced species share our methods or beliefs. Your saying will be in danger, Marcus observed, his tactical mind already working. You already are. Your trials were not just tests, they were preparation. The threats you faced in simulation, some are real. Coming. Inevitable. The crew of the ESS Horizon exchanged glances, each understanding the weight of what lay ahead. They had come seeking knowledge and found both opportunity and responsibility beyond imagination. We'll be ready, Sarah declared, speaking not just for her crew but for all humanity. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. The Guardian presence pulsed with what might have been approval, or perhaps hope. Then let us proceed to your final preparation. What you learn next will change the course of human history forever. The question is, are you truly ready for that change? The Guardian's chamber had transformed once again, this time into what appeared to be a vast observatory of spacetime itself. Commander Sarah Chen and her crew watched as entire civilizations rose and fell before their eyes, their histories compressed into moments. What we show you now has never been revealed to a species at your stage of development, the Guardian presence announced. But your responses to the trials have earned you this truth. The display shifted to show a devastating scene, advanced civilizations locked in conflicts that spanned galaxies, wielding weapons that could erase entire star systems from existence. Then came images of other species, some so advanced they had transcended physical form entirely, watching these conflicts from the shadows. The network isn't just a coalition, James realized, his voice hushed. It's a defense against something. Yes. What you call dark matter, it is not natural. It is a weapon, deployed eons ago in a war your kind cannot yet comprehend. The universe is dying, not from entropy alone, but from wounds inflicted by beings who saw themselves as gods. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. And now we have to choose whether to join this fight. The choice is more complex than that. The Guardian's presence intensified. Humanity stands at a crossroads. We offer you 3 paths. The chamber filled with 3 distinct visions of humanity's future. The first showed Earth transformed into a paradise, protected and isolated from the greater conflicts of the universe. The second revealed humanity spreading across the stars, armed with advanced technology but facing endless wars against hostile forces. The third was stranger, humanity evolved into something entirely new, neither purely physical nor entirely energy-based. The first path is safety. We will shield Earth, allow your species to develop in peace, protected from the wars that rage beyond your knowledge. You will never know the burden of cosmic conflict. The second path is resistance. We will give you the technology and knowledge to fight, to join the war that has raged since before your planet formed. You will know power beyond imagination, but also loss beyond measure. The third path is transformation. Not merely technological advancement, but a fundamental change in what it means to be human. You would become something new, something that could help heal the wounds in spacetime itself. But you would cease to be human as you know it. The crew stood in stunned silence, the magnitude of the choice before them almost overwhelming. Kaya was the first to speak. These aren't just paths for us, she said, her linguistic insight cutting to the heart of the matter. These are paths that other species have chosen before. The isolated paradises, the warrior civilizations, the transcendent beings, they're all out there, aren't they? Yes. Each choice has been made before. Each path has its price. Marcus stepped forward, his tactical mind already analyzing the implications. The isolated civilizations, they're vulnerable, aren't they? If the protective forces fail, they have no defense. Correct. The warrior civilizations often destroy themselves. And those who choose transformation, some lose their very essence in the process. Sarah moved to the center of the chamber, her mind racing. You said these are the only paths. But humanity has always been good at finding alternatives. What if we forge our own path? The Guardian presence seemed to pulse with surprise. Explain. Instead of choosing isolation, warfare, or complete transformation, what if we choose integration? We maintain our humanity while learning from all 3 paths. We build defenses but prioritize diplomacy. We advance our technology but keep our ethical core. We evolve but remember our roots. Such a path would be unprecedented. The challenges would be immense. That's what humanity does best, Sarah replied, her voice firm. We face the impossible and find a way forward. We learn, we adapt, we grow, but we don't have to lose ourselves in the process. The chamber hummed with energy as the Guardian presence considered her words. You would risk everything on an untried path. No path is certain, James interjected. Even your 3 options come with risks. At least this way, we choose our own destiny. Sarah looked at her crew, human beings who had already faced impossible choices and emerged stronger. We don't want to hide from the universe's problems, nor do we want to lose our humanity fighting them. We want to help heal the cosmos while remaining true to who we are. The Guardian presence was silent for a long moment. When it spoke again, there was a new tone in its thoughts, something almost like hope. In all our existence, monitoring countless species, none have dared to propose their own path. You understand the risks, the challenges, the possibility of failure? We do, Sarah answered. But we also understand the possibility of success. Of finding a way to help heal the universe without sacrificing what makes us human. That's worth any risk. The chamber began to pulse with new energy, and the crew felt a shift in the very fabric of reality around them. Then perhaps this is why you were chosen. Not to follow established paths, but to forge a new one. Very well, Commander Sarah Chen of Earth. We will help you attempt this unprecedented journey. The vision before them changed one final time, showing a future that was both beautiful and terrifying, humanity reaching for the stars while maintaining their connection to Earth, advancing technologically while preserving their culture, and most importantly, helping to heal the wounds in the universe while remaining fundamentally human. But remember, the Guardian warned, this path you have chosen, it will not be easy. You will face challenges no species has ever encountered. Are you truly ready for what lies ahead? Sarah looked at her crew, saw the determination in their eyes, and knew the answer. We're ready. Whatever comes next, humanity faces it together. The chamber filled with light, and the crew of the ESS Horizon prepared to carry the most important message in human history back to Earth. The real journey was just beginning. The return journey to Earth felt different. The ESS Horizon carried not just its crew, but the weight of humanity's future. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, watching the familiar stars streak by, each one now holding new meaning. Final transmission from the Guardian structure received, Kaya reported from her station. The young lieutenant's voice carried a mix of excitement and awe. They've provided coordinates for the first healing site, a tear in spacetime that they believe humanity might be uniquely qualified to address. Sarah nodded, her mind still processing everything they'd learned. The Guardian's final gift had been knowledge, not just of advanced technology, but of the universe's deepest wounds and humanity's potential role in healing them. Dr. Rodriguez, what's the status of the data integration? She asked, turning to her chief scientist. James looked up from his station, his eyes bright with enthusiasm despite his exhaustion. It's remarkable, Commander. The Guardians didn't just give us technology, they gave us understanding. The principles behind their advancements, the fundamental laws we never even knew existed. It's like they've handed us a new physics textbook, but one that actually explains the universe as it truly is. And the defensive systems? Sarah turned to Marcus. Implementing now, he replied, his fingers dancing across his console. The Guardians provided a shield network design that we can adapt to Earth's existing satellite system. It's elegant, protection without isolation. We can defend ourselves while remaining connected to the greater galaxy. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Their choice, to forge their own path rather than accept the predetermined options, had surprised the Guardians. But more than that, it had earned their respect. The ancient beings had recognized in humanity something they'd been searching for, the ability to face universal problems with innovation, compassion, and unwavering determination. Commander, Kaya called out suddenly, incoming transmission from Earth Command. They've detected our approach and, they know something's different. Our energy signature has changed. Open a channel, Sarah ordered, straightening her uniform. The moment she'd been preparing for had arrived. How do you tell humanity that everything they thought they knew about the universe was about to change? The main screen flickered to life, showing the stern face of Admiral Torres. Commander Chen, your ship disappeared from our sensors for 72 hours. Care to explain? Sarah took a deep breath. Admiral, what I'm about to tell you will change human history. I recommend assembling the World Council. All of them. What we've discovered affects everyone on Earth, and beyond. Over the next few hours, as the ESS Horizon approached Earth, Sarah and her crew transmitted their logs, data, and experiences. They watched as humanity's leaders tried to grasp the magnitude of what they were hearing, the existence of the Guardians, the cosmic war that had wounded spacetime itself, and humanity's unique opportunity to help heal the universe. "You're telling me," Admiral Torres said slowly, "that instead of accepting their offers of protection, power, or transcendence, you chose to do it your own way?" "Yes, sir," Sarah replied firmly. "Because humanity's strength isn't in hiding from problems, overwhelming them with force, or transcending them entirely. Our strength is in facing challenges head-on while remaining true to who we are. The Guardians recognize this, it's why they're willing to guide us on this unprecedented path." The Admiral was silent for a long moment. "The changes this will bring, they'll be enormous. Not everyone will accept them easily." "No, sir, they won't," Sarah agreed. "But change is coming whether we choose it or not. At least this way, we choose how we change." As the ESS Horizon entered Earth orbit, Sarah could already see the changes beginning. The Guardians' defensive systems were integrating with Earth's satellite network, creating a protective shield that would guard against both physical and temporal threats. But unlike the isolation shield they'd been offered, this one was permeable, adjustable, allowing humanity to remain connected to the cosmos while maintaining their security. "First reports coming in from the Mars and Europa colonies," Marcus announced. "They're detecting the shield network integration. It's working exactly as the Guardians predicted." Sarah watched as the shield system came online, its energy signature visible as a subtle aurora that wrapped around Earth and its colonies. It was beautiful, but it was only the beginning. "Dr. Rodriguez," she called out, "begin transmitting the educational packets to Earth's scientific institutions. Lieutenant Patel, coordinate with linguistic teams planetside, they'll need to understand the new universal communication protocols. Lieutenant Commander Marcus, work with defense forces to establish training programs for the new security systems." As her crew carried out their tasks, Sarah thought about the journey ahead. The Guardians had warned them it wouldn't be easy. Humanity would face resistance from hostile forces in the universe, skepticism from their own people, and challenges they couldn't yet imagine. But they would face it all while remaining human, with all the strength, weakness, courage, and compassion that entailed. The first test would come soon enough. The tear in spacetime the Guardians had identified was waiting, a wound in the universe that needed a uniquely human touch to heal. It would require everything humanity had learned, everything they were, and everything they could become. "Commander," Kaya's voice interrupted her thoughts, "incoming message from the World Council. They've reached a decision." Sarah squared her shoulders. This was the moment that would set humanity's new course. Whatever the Council decided, there was no going back. The universe had changed, and humanity would change with it, not by becoming something else, but by becoming more fully what they already were, explorers, innovators, healers, and above all, survivors who never lost sight of their humanity. The message from Earth appeared on her screen, and Sarah Chin smiled. The journey they'd begun at the edge of known space was about to become humanity's greatest adventure. The legacy they would build wouldn't just be for Earth or even humanity, it would be for all of existence. The healing of the universe would begin with a human touch.